It's almost kind of poetic, isn't it? Today, we are taking a look at an artifact of the Montreal Canadiens past and this Brendan Gallagher hockey card. Because if you had been paying attention to the news cycle as of late, you would have seen the comments made by Brendan Gallagher yesterday about how his time in Montreal is coming to an end. There are a million thoughts that Canadiens fans can have about the Brendan Gallagher story, about what he has meant to this franchise over the past few decades, essentially, and where Brendan Gallagher's hockey playing career will take him next. But before we dive into the news, before we dive into how genuinely sad it is to see this guy leave Montreal, let's talk about this hockey card. So this is an Artifacts Upper Deck card from the 2021-2022 Artifacts hockey set. I've always liked Artifacts. The base cards have a really nice design. This one in particular has some sort of a netting, snakeskin, leathery type of background behind the player itself. Artifacts is written on the top there in really nice gold tinted chrome. The red Montreal Canadiens jersey and character profile stands out really nicely against the backdrop there. You go down to the bottom, you have the nameplate and this really interesting kind of vine, thorny design with Canadiens right wing written on the bottom there. Just a sleek card overall, and one that when you catch it in the light at certain angles, it does provide some really nice visually pleasing qualities. On the back, you have a picture of Gallagher. This was most likely in the bubble North Division shutdown Bell Center era that we had seen the Montreal Canadiens play in. Gallagher, Canadiens right wing with the same little vine design there. And then the last 5 years worth of statistics for Gally. You can see he had 23 points in 35 games played for the Canadiens in 2020-2021. This was, of course, before the Canadiens found themselves making the Stanley Cup Finals. And the bio in the back talks about how he's 5'9", 184, a right-handed guy, and he was from Edmonton, Alberta. With the score tied at 1 goal apiece and time ticking down in regulation on February 13th, 2021, it looked like a clash in Toronto was destined to head to overtime. That is, until a net front Gallagher batted down Jeff Petry's shot from the point, burying the puck to seal a Canadiens 2-1 win. And it was moments like that that made Brendan Gallagher so special. He was a hard-nosed player, driving into the front of the net, battling it out in corners and on the boards, making sure that his opponents never got an easy steal on him. He had a warrior's mentality, and even though he was 5'9", he was able to display it in spades for the Montreal Canadiens over the years. Unfortunately, he is now in a spot where he's 34, the contract he's got sees him making $6.5 million a year, and he is not as effective as he once was. He is slower. He just isn't in the game as much as he once was. And that's not to say that his effort slowed down. It's still there. It's just Brendan Gallagher has played a very physically demanding style for years. It was only a matter of time before his body caught up to him. So yesterday, Gallagher, speaking to the media, said he's pretty much going to leave the Montreal Canadiens. The actual quote was that it's pretty obvious that he's going to go somewhere else. There have been discussions about the Vancouver Canucks. He played his junior hockey days in Vancouver, and he spends some time in the off-season in Vancouver once in a while too. So it would be a really nice leadership type addition for Vancouver if they would be able to get a guy like Gallagher. But for now, just looking at this Artifacts card, acknowledging the artifact that Brendan Gallagher will soon become as a member of the Montreal Canadiens, it's really sad, and I wanted to give this guy some love because he deserves it. Brendan Gallagher, everybody, one of Montreal's most beloved competitors over the years. It seems like he has just played his final season as a member of the Canadiens. and the last game he ever played as a Hab was in the first round against Tampa Bay in the Sears playoff run. This has been Ice Hockey POV. Join me next time as we talk about more hockey memorabilia, conversations, and item pieces. How do you feel about Brendan Gallagher and his time in Montreal coming to an end? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next one.